Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brand make more sales with email. Today, I'm going to be breaking down a welcome email from a brand called Omigo as a part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge. I signed up for their list. This is a bidet product. They sell bidet or toilet seat bidet, I believe. And I signed up for this because of their Facebook ad. I thought it was hilarious, and then also their website copy was clean, simple, concise. And I was like, hey, I have to go check out their emails because if the copy so far has been great, I'd imagine their emails are the same. And I was not disappointed. This is a fantastic email. I really think that their use of plain text, as you can see as I scroll down, no images except for the bottom when it comes to suggested products, and those are even pretty simple. Um, I think whoever wrote this actually absolutely crushed it out of the park. I am so excited that I found this email because out of the other, 30, almost 40 videos that I've done so far, I've not seen an email that performs like this or looks like this or even feels like this. So yeah, I'm excited to break this down for you and share what it is. So context, this is a welcome email. I did sign up for a bidet product at a bidet site. So that's the context when we go through the subject line and the copy. And then I'll go through each section of the copy because there are different sections and things that the copywriter did here that I just want to bring to your attention that are great sales tactics and just great ways to present information in new ways so that it sticks in the person's mind. They remember the brand and they have a good time, enjoying this email, this experience of reading about bidets. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. First, the subject line here, your new bathroom routine plus your discount. So your new bathroom routine. So that subject line it's not using a tactic. It's actually a strategy, right? Because when you sign up for a bidet email list, you probably have a pretty set bathroom routine. And I'd imagine most people do. And so we're basically setting a curiosity hook here of like, essentially, if you check out our products and you buy our products, we're going to change that for you. We're going to change your bathroom routine. And that's like, oh, really? How? Like the next question is, you're going to do that? Cool. How? So there's a curiosity piece and there's also a challenge piece there of like your bathroom routine can change and it should. And once you have a product, it's going to. So I think the subject lines absolutely crushes it. I'd imagine they've tested a handful of probably a handful of subject lines to make sure that they're using the right one to get the best opens. I'd imagine this one's winning right now. So with that being said, the subject line I think is great. The plus your discount. I think overall this feels like a conversational subject line, and it's going to stand out in the inbox because one, welcome to your community, welcome to your brand, welcome to this. $15 off, $15 off inside. That's what most brands send. This brand is communicating similar information, but they're doing it in a conversational way, in a different way, so that when you're reading through your inbox, hey, new bathroom routine plus your discount, it's like, oh, who sent that? Like, I that looks different, and it looks like it's from a friend or it's from somebody that I know. I'm gonna check this out and maybe look at the from name, maybe even click in and see what it's all about. So, I think that with the subject line is absolutely just brilliant. So great job to the copywriter who did this. Next, the from name from email. They do stick with the standard brand name and brand email, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about there. Again, that's probably a strategy decision. I'd be curious to see if saying like founder name or technician name, first name at Omigo, hello at myomigo.com, to see if that would get more opens just because it's from a person. With the way the copy is written, it could come from a person, but I'd imagine if they decided not to do that, that they're trying to keep this humor and the conversation and everything that's said in this email away from a certain person's name, whether it be founder or anybody in particular, but they just don't want that to be associated with a certain person. They want it to be associated with the brand. So this is another thing too with plain text copy is that you can write very conversational, very personality driven copy and have it connect to the brand. And so people associate that brand with the feeling that you created, that you help them feel and create and experience in the copy. Whereas images, you don't have a whole lot of influence over what people are going to feel when they see an image. Because yeah, an image is worth 1,000 words, but which words? And that's the thing with copy is you get to pick the specific, concise words that you're going to use and you're going to present to somebody. And that's one of the other reasons why plain text I think is so great. So let's go and roll down. The first thing, there's not a brand logo, brand name, menu, nothing at the top. This is a discount. This is the first email. This is an email to deliver the discount. And guess what? It's right there at the top. So they've already delivered on their promise of saying, hey, we're sending you a discount. Here's a discount. Now, the one thing here that I noticed is they don't have a link here to have people click through, but I think that's on purpose because one, they say, hey, here's your discount. And you want them to scroll and say, okay, yeah, cool, I have the discount, but I want to go shop now. If they're immediately urgent, guess what? They'll find the link down here. But I think this is strategic of not using a link at the top because what they want to do is they want you to read the email. And the reason being is it creates an emotional connection, and they use humor and personality here in this email and this copy to actually like reel you in and bring you in and say, okay, hey, we're real people at this brand and we're actually trying to create a connection with you. We're kind of funny, at least we think so. And they're trying to get people to read the email. And if you can get people to read the email, which that means and translates into, you can get them to read your sales message. And if you get them to read your sales message, you're more likely to sell them on something. So there's the code. Next, this first section I think is pretty funny. So the copywriter said, "Hey," and then he lists out a bunch of words here, which I'm not going to repeat, barring the YouTube filter if it catches any of that. But then he basically says, "These are this list of words." He says, "They say these are a small sample of the words I may have to use to tell you about how much cleaner, healthier, and hygienic our range of bidet seats and attachments are compared to toilet paper. I thought I'd warn you now so we can get the giggling out of the way. But first, pun, sorry, couldn't resist. Two more pressing matters." So right out of the gate, totally flipping the idea of making bidets serious and totally made them funny. It went with humor and personality instead of being serious and like this is a private thing, but totally making it, adding a joke in, trying to get you to laugh, get you to smile. That emotional connection there in this first like 150 words is huge. And I think whoever wrote this did a fantastic job at creating that connection. Because when I read it, I was like, oh, this is funny. This is great. I'm never going to forget this brand because of the way this email was written. Like this is going in my swipe file after we're done doing this breakdown. So, and then once he gets through, once they get to, the copywriter gets through this, um, they go directly into click here to check out the fresh deals of the day, and then here's the code again. So code first, say hey, it's here. A little bit of humor, a little bit of personality, connect with you. Here's the link to go shop. Here's the code again. Boom, get out of the way. Go sell. Go buy. Let the customer buy. Get out of the way. Let them make the sale. Right. If you didn't convert there as a reader, they go on to say, hey, warning, this code ain't hanging around. It's only good for 7 days, after which it vanishes faster than the remnants of this morning's business under one of our warm, cleansing, and freshening sprays. So again, leaning into that humor again, making it funny, taking the terms of this code and actually making it a joke is fantastic. In most brands, when they say, hey, this code expires on Tuesday night at midnight and you can only, it's 7 days from now or something, right? They make it very bland, very straightforward, and they don't have any fun with it. And I think the humor, personality angle in this email absolutely tips the expectations of talking about a bidet on its head. Like people go into this email, if they do sign up for this listing on this email saying, oh, it's bidet, it's going to be serious, it's a private thing. And this copywriter just totally makes fun of it and creates an emotional connection without going over the line, right? So I think that's fantastic. And then the cool thing about this email that I really, really liked is that there's two, maybe three major objections that people would have to buying bidets. And in the welcome email, and this is what I'm talking about in the other videos that I do, is like, there's a strategy and a process to actually getting people to buy something. And a lot of the brand emails don't actually go through that sales process of actually working through what the customer is actually thinking and going through before they buy something, and addressing objections, answering those objections, and like getting them basically channeling their desire to actually buy the product into actually taking that action. A lot of brands just show the product, show the coupon, click the link, and then talk about their own business. And it's like the customer doesn't, frankly, at the end of the day, doesn't really care about your business. They just want a solution to their problem. And like in this case, bidets, the copywriter made this funny, so you make an emotional connection, and then they jump right into objections of like the reasons why they wouldn't buy, and they address those directly. And those are the things that need to be either answered or removed or quelled, so that the customer can actually feel confident and taking the desire to buy the actual product. So I'll go over the objections here in a sec, but I just want to put that in your mind, is like the strategy behind this copy. It isn't just words. It isn't just somebody rambling and riffing. There is actual motive and intent behind why these words are written the way they were written. So with that being said, let's look at the first one. So the first objection, if you've never used a bidet before, you might be wondering, what's so bad about using toilet paper? We've been doing it for years. So it's a huge thing, right? It's like, instead of washing, I've been wiping for years. Now I'm going to wash. Like, why? I've been doing it this way for years. Why should I change? And I think the copywriter does something even more brilliant than just using objections, but they take the common thing that most of us do, I hope most of us do, is wash our hands after number two, and relates that to the bidet of like, hey, if you know how to wash your hands, then you know how you can use a bidet, because it's like washing, after number two. And they make it familiar. They take the bidet, that's something that's unknown and unfamiliar and maybe resistant to, and the copywriter makes it familiar enough to say, hey, it's like washing your hands. It's very similar to that. It's like washing your hands. It's actually cleaner, which they talk about here, because washing is cleaner. It gets rid of all the horrible bacteria. And so it's like he takes something unfamiliar, makes it familiar, and then gives you a reason why it's better. And that's basically how you handle objection, is you take it and you spin it. You try to spin it into something that's like, okay, what's the actual objection here? We've been using toilet paper for years, basically. It's like, okay, cool. But you've also been washing your hands for years, and yet you don't wash after number two, but use paper. What would it be like? And I think Also, the thought that kind of comes into, oh, here it is. Yeah. The question is, do you wash your hands in the sink or wipe them on a piece of paper? So it's like you wash your hands, but you don't wash after number two. So it's like that little perspective shift, right? I think I put it over here. Is that's really yeah, so the main objection, there's a perspective shift here. Is like the thing that you notice that you call normal can also be normal with bidets, and that there's a perspective shift. There's a belief change there when it comes to answering this objection. Most, if not all, objections have a belief that underpin it. So if you address that belief and answer the objection, but address the belief, you can ultimately remove that objection or make it a non-factor, or at least start getting more questions in the conversation going to understand why that's an objection. You can answer it more later. So that's something too, is like each objection has a belief that underpins it, and that's what you're addressing with this. That's what the copywriter is addressing in this copy is the belief into this is we've been doing it for years, and it's like I'm comfortable doing that. It's like, yeah, well, you're comfortable washing your hands, so why can't you wash after number two? So I think it's a brilliant way to handle that objection. Moving on. Let's see the next thing. So here's a big benefit. Let's see here. No, that's not. We already talked about the big benefit of washing versus wiping. So that's a huge benefit, is washing instead of wiping. So we already talked about that. And then let's see here. Oh, here it is. So, and then the copywriter goes on. Besides, not everybody wipes all day every day. Did you know that in some parts of Europe, it's illegal to build a house without a bidet? So that's something that's like a total like just mind blower. Is like it's illegal to not have a bidet in your house if you build a house somewhere. In some places in Europe. So it's like, holy cow, this is definitely normal. So I think that's one of the things that handling this objection, the next piece is having a bidet is normal, and you not having one is essentially that's what he's objecting. That's what this copywriter is addressing, is like it's normal to have it and you don't have one. So we can put this objection aside and we can start getting you into the right bidet that you want and need. So and also he goes on here to, let's see here. Oh yeah, and then the next objection, just kind of the copywriter transitions right into the next objection is, so you see in some parts of the world wiping is not normal. So he takes the toilet paper and wiping and makes it uncommon and not normal, and basically gives a new perspective on how to look at it, which we mentioned earlier. And then they dive into truth is bidets never caught on the US because installing an extra unit in your bathroom is a major hassle and expense. So the idea of spending more money to add something that you don't necessarily quote unquote need is the reason you don't have it, even though it's healthier and cleaner and better for you. And then because of that mention, the copywriter goes on and says that's one of the great things about Omigo, because that's the second objection is the expense. It's like it costs money to install this. The third objection is, well, if I'm not going to install it, then I'm not. If it costs too much, I'm not going to install it. And the third, to answer that hurdle and basically answer the third objection of cost, price, and use, the copywriter says that's one of the great things about Omigo. You don't have to call it a plumber. You don't have to call a plumber, a contractor, and file a permit. Just replace your toilet seat and boom, major bathroom upgrade. So it's literally a toilet seat bidet, and you don't have to do anything that has to do with adding an extra piece of an extra unit in your bathroom, like a full bidet. You just replace your toilet seat and you're good to go. So that's another big objection or hurdle that people are going to have when it comes to installing bidets, at least in the US, into their homes. That's what we just talked about there. Next section here. And then after basically the offer or the promise, right? The offer of Omigo and what it is and how it works. The copywriter says, so whether you're looking for the most hygienic way of cleaning yourself, wanting to do it, do your bit for the environment by saving paper, no more stockpiling TP, or if you just want to be the first on your block to have the latest, most effective way of maintaining a pristine posterior, there's never been a better time to upgrade your pooping routine. So these are all the customer desires and potential outcomes. The desire and outcomes that if you get this product, these are the desires you can expect. And then the urgency again of, you only have this coupon and you can only use this coupon for like 7 days. Here's a link and the actual offer that was promised. And then the sign off. A few final pieces here. The PS. This is what I would call a guarantee and a risk reversal. So with a 90-day trial on the Omigo Element and Element Plus, not only are you saving money, you got nothing to lose because they have a refund policy and 90-day trial. Positive that once you start using our products, you'll never go back to toilet paper again, but you don't have to take my word for it. We have over 2,000 5-star reviews to back us up. So guarantee, risk reversal here, and then also social proof that stacks on top of that to make it an even more outrageous offer that it's like it's dumb not that you don't bite this, right? That you don't try this. And then again, a link to the products again, and then suggested products, which are the ones he mentioned up here: the Omigo Luxury, Element, and Element Plus. And you can notice here that there's no price on these. It's just the link to the products, which the name is linked, and then also the shop now button, which I can't see because of link tracking, but I'd imagine this shop now goes directly to the product. The image is linked as well. So, and the last two pieces, again, don't forget to use Fresh 20 to get 20% or $20 off, and then brand logo or brand name and standard footer information. So again, a few takeaways. One, because of the nature of this product, it's a bidet product. The copywriter went with humor and personality to bring people in and create a memorable experience for them. Two, the copywriter got out of the way and just said, hey, here's the code, go use it. And I think there's 4 links. So the code is mentioned 1, 2, 3. The code is mentioned 4 times. There are 3 links specifically just to the site, and then there are 3 products that link out to specific products. So 4 codes in 1 email. So you can't, like, if you go and read this email on your own time, it doesn't feel like you're being sold. It feels like an experience, and that's the power of copy. Is you can make it feel like an experience, and that's a great thing that I think this email does too. So that's the third thing, is like the experience of this email. It connects emotionally. It makes you laugh. You're probably not going to forget this brand because of this email. It's a great job. And then the final thing that I really liked is the objection handling. So the big objection is, been using toilet paper for long, been using it for years. Why should we switch? And then it's expensive. I don't want to install a bidet. And then also too, bidets they're quite normal in the world, and you not having one is uncommon. It's abnormal, and bidets being healthier for you, you should have one. And then that big question of the expense and installing a new unit or an extra unit in the bathroom. You don't have to, because it's a toilet seat, not a full bidet unit. So overall, I think that this email is definitely going on my swipe file. This is a fantastic email. Whoever wrote this, I hope that someday I get to speak with them, because this is a great email, and this is definitely going on my swipe file. So with that being said, I hope you can take some of these insights away and back to your brand to make more sales. And go check out some of my other videos where I do breakdowns like this. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.